Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 2 of Let's Play Mega Man 10. We're going to get started by going after Nitro Man. If you'll remember, the original trailer for Mega Man 10 featured Nitro Man's theme. His stage theme was the trailer theme for Mega Man 10, because it's a really fantastic, kick-ass theme. I love this theme so much. I love the Mega Man 10 soundtrack as a whole. Mega Man 9 was really good, but it was mostly a throwback to Mega Man 2. Mega Man 10 is a lot of original stuff, and I really like the Mega Man 10 soundtrack. It's it's really good. I really like all this. Nitro Man's stage, pretty short and sweet like Solar Man's. However, unlike Solar Man's, I think Nitro Man's stage is a lot more interesting. I like the gimmicks of the stage a lot more. Whereas Solar Man just had those moving platforms that moved you by standing on them. This stage's gimmick is all about cars and trucks and just try not to get run over by them. Unlike that. God, I fucking hate Proto Man's double damage. Completely ruins the Proto Man play experience, his double damage. Not here, but oh shit, you'll see. The WiiWare castle is excruciatingly brutal. I hate it so much. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet, so it won't get me down. Not that much. Not yet. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Stage as a whole isn't that bad. By the way, if you want a nice little hint on how to deal with the stage, use your chill spikes, only chill spikes, on the trucks. You can either throw them on the truck themselves to actually freeze the truck, or as you see a little bit later, you can actually lay the spikes down on the ground and have the truck run over them, and the truck will be instantly destroyed. You'll see in a little bit. I'm going to slow it down so you can actually take a look and see exactly what I've done. It's very, very crucial you remember that. The fact that you can lay down chill spikes on the ground and trucks can be destroyed by running over those same chill spikes. That's very important because that is the weakness of Nitro Man. Nitro Man's weakness is chill spikes, but specifically, his weakness is the chill spikes laid down on the ground. You can't just throw the chill spike and have it freeze Nitro Man and expect that to do massive damage. It's going to do 1 damage, and it's going to freeze him for like a second or 2. If you want to do massive damage, you have to lay down those spikes on the ground and have him run over. This is what I mean when the bosses are, when I say bosses are all cause and effect. Bosses in this game, you can't just spam a weapon to destroy them. Like freezing that truck didn't do anything. You have to do what Mega Man does here. Lay the spike down to the ground and have the truck run over it. As you'll see right now. See? The truck is destroyed. That is how you destroy Nitro Man. Very easily and very quickly with the chill spikes. Just throwing the glob of ice on him and expecting that to do massive damage is going to get you killed in this stage. And it's true for a lot of the bosses. Not all the bosses. Some of the bosses are pretty straightforward, but some of them aren't. Like with the Thunderwool. Thunderwool, if you just had the Cloud hit Pump Man, the Cloud does 1 damage. You have to have the Cloud go all the way up to the top of the screen and rain down lightning to the ground and have Pump Man actually run into it or stand under it in order for, excuse me. Got a little distracted there. Just got an email, but it's not important. Anyway, you can't just throw the Thundercloud and expect that to actually do massive damage to Pump Man, just as you can't throw the Globe of Ice onto Nitro Man and expect that to do massive damage. So, just gotta be careful with that. Some of these bosses are cause and effect. You have to be very careful with how you actually use your special weapons if you want to win. Because otherwise you're not, and you're going to get a little pissed off, and you're thinking, oh, this is a weakness, why isn't this working? Well, it's because Mega Man 10 is very, very picky about how weaknesses work. And that's why its special weapons are not great in any sense of the word. Pretty piss poor in the overall Mega Man franchise, really. Anyway, Nitro Man. Nitro Man's main thing is throwing his blades, turning into a motorcycle, going from left to right. I say the throwing the glob of ice on him doesn't do that much damage to him, and it doesn't. But you can use that to your advantage and, force him to do something else by throwing the by throwing the glob of ice on him. I think throwing the glob of ice at him is always going to force him to do spikes, so you can take advantage of that if you want. Otherwise, though, just lay down spikes on the ground, rain him with pellets when he's, you know, not motorcycling around, and try to kill him quick. Because especially as Proto Man, a few hits and you're almost dead. I would have died if I didn't have an E-Tank, but, you know, I did. Which I picked up earlier in another stage. Proto Man. Inconvenient effing character to play as. Wheel cutter, that's what it is. It's not blades, it's wheels. It's wheels with blades, which I guess are just blades. Insightful commentary, I know. This is why all 40 of you come here. Or maybe more, or maybe less, I don't know. Whatever. Next up is Commando Man. I think my second favorite Robot Master of this bunch. The first one being Strike Man. I think Strike Man looks pretty cool. Commando Man's stage is... okay, it's kind of tough. There's no mini-boss in this stage, but there are an alternate path. There is an alternate path in this stage. And the top path that I'll take as base, just like I did in Pump Man stage, is the more difficult of the two paths. The bottom path that I'm going to be taking as Mega Man or as Proto Man. I forget which one I put in this video to show the bottom path. But the bottom path infinitely easier than the top path. The top path is kind of annoying. Oh, here we go. Here's the bottom path right now. Both the bottom path and the top path introduce the same gimmick, unlike in Pump Man stage, where the bottom path introduced the underwater stuff and the bubble gimmick, and the top path was just, you know, standard platforming fare. Well, not standard platforming fare. It did do a lot more with the waterfalls that pushed your character down and didn't let you jump too high. The gimmick of Commando Man stage is the sandstorms, which will be seen right now. There it is. Depending on which direction the sandstorm is blowing in from is the direction you're going to be pushed. Right now, Proto Man is being pushed to the left because the sandstorm is coming from the left. If it was coming from the right, then Proto Man would be pushed to the right. The bottom path is easier than the top path because the bottom path does not feature nearly as many bottomless pits or spikes. The top path does. That being said, I believe the top path does have the better rewards. The top path, I believe, does have a life and an E-Tank. Oh, no, I was wrong. There's the E-Tank right there. Look at that. Thanks, game, for correcting me. Yeah, so the bottom path has an E-Tank. The top path, I think, has a life, though. I'm pretty sure the top path has a life. In fact, I'm pretty confident now that I've seen the E-Tank down there that the top path has a life. Anyway, because of how the layout of the top path is designed, with more bottomless pits and the wind actually pushing you towards those bottomless pits, unlike in the bottom path where they were just kind of pushing you into walls and generally being very safe and not a threat. Top path is infinitely more dangerous than the bottom path. Not by much. It's actually shorter than the bottom path. Well, no, it's not shorter. I just made it shorter because with base I could just cheese it with the treble boost. You can't really do that as Proto Man or Mega Man. You can kind of do that in this next part, but not really. Not as good as base can do it. Base's powers are pretty not broken, because this game is much easier when playing as base. I wouldn't call it easy. I wouldn't call it just easy in general. Some of the stuff, even as base, gets real tricky. And yeah, so you know what? I guess I was wrong. The top path did not have any rewards. The top path didn't have any rewards, and the wind blowing you to the right into the bottomless pits just makes the top path way more difficult. So don't take the top path for any reason. Take the bottom path. Get yourself a free E-Tank. Yeah. What am I talking about? Just take the bottom path in this stage. Jeez. Sandstorms continue in the second half of the stage. You know, they introduce it to you in a relatively safe environment, but not really, especially if you take the top path. And then for the end of the stage, they just pepper it on you and make things way more difficult than they should be. Not particularly in this screen. The next screen, when the wind is blowing to the right and pushing you into bottomless pits and stuff that you don't want to be pushed into, then it gets much more tricky. Here, this part's annoying, and it'd be much better if you have like Rush Jet or Proto Jet or Trouble Boost saved up to just get this part done. There's no rewards here. There's nothing to explore or do there. Just get through it as quick as possible. Save yourself the pain from that. That part sucks. It's It's really difficult no matter who you're playing as. Just fly over it. And then we're done. That's it. Time to fight Commando Man. Commando Man is pretty straightforward, both in terms of what he does and weakness. His weakness is Wheel Cutter. No special gimmicks that make it work all the way. Just lob it at him. Just throw it at him. Watch it do damage. Commando Man is going to jump around. He's going to throw his Commando Bombs, cause earthquakes when he lands on the ground, create shockwaves from his arms. His Commando Bombs are also capable of creating shockwaves, so be careful of that. That's all there is to it. If you have his weakness, just rain it down on him and kill him as quickly as possible, because he can finish you off pretty quick, especially if you're Proto Man, obviously. And for our trouble, we get another terrible weapon. Just really not firing on all cylinders with weapons in this game. We get Commando Bombs. They're pretty unique. You shoot them, and then you can pick a direction with your D-pad, up or down, and the Commando Bomb will actually follow that direction, upward of 2 directions before it's stuck going in the direction it's stuck going in, and then explode somewhere. It's important to note that the Commando Bomb itself is not what does massive damage. It is the shockwave the Commando Bomb creates, similar to how Commando Man himself uses it, that actually creates a shockwave, and that shockwave that's created is what does massive damage. The bomb itself is nothing. It's like the cloud from Thunderwool, or it's like the glob of ice in Chill Spike. The bomb itself does nothing. You want to have enemies come in contact with the shockwave it creates. That's what does most damage, and that's Blade Man's weakness. Not the Commando Bomb, the Commando Bomb shockwave. It's... I like them trying to do it. I like them trying to do the cause and effect weaknesses in this game. I don't think it worked out that well. I think the glob of ice, or the cloud of the Thunderwool, or the bomb of the Commando Bomb should not do massive damage, but it shouldn't just do 1 damage. It's such a steep punishment for messing up on using a special weapon that you don't have an unlimited amount of, that, you know, it's just too steep a price to pay to mess up. So I like what they tried. Didn't really succeed. This stage has a mini boss, Castle. Castle doesn't have much going for it. It has 3 attacks. 2 technically, but 3 things that each do an attack. 2 of those attacks happen to be the same. Gate part just throws platforms at you. Those platforms do have spikes on their side, so be careful when timing your jumps. And the 2 turrets just lob bombs at you, and that's it. Destroy all 3 parts and move on. It's nothing more to it. In hard mode, those platforms are faster than they are in normal mode and easy mode. Like, a lot faster. So be careful when you're playing in hard mode. Yeah. The pace of hard mode is just real frantic. But thankfully, if you're playing this base, I'm not playing this base right now, but if you were playing this base right now, then there's a whole bunch of advantages. Because base is really fast with his, not his slide, but his dash ability. His base buster is also capable of doing the stuff he does in Mega Man at base, which is take off shields from enemies and keep them open, make them completely vulnerable to attack, which is pretty cool. You saw it a few times, I'm sure, during the playthrough. Proto Man's Mega Buster, his Proto Buster, his charged up Proto Buster, is pretty strong too. Again, his double damage kind of negates all the good things about Proto Man. The double damage is such a hindrance, especially in hard mode. By the way, as you see, those walls that I pointed out at Solar Man stage last time, as you can see, the Commando Bomb does destroy them. It's the only thing that can destroy them. Nothing else that you have will be able to do it, and nothing else that you will get will be able to do it. This part's actually pretty tricky. This part requires very careful timing and manipulation of the screen, because sometimes those enemies right there can appear at the most inopportune moments and just lob you off the platform. It's really annoying. They are deceptively tricky. Like, I died so many times in this part just because of their spawn points. Just spawn points make them so deceptively tricky in that one section that you're probably gonna die a few times before you actually get used to it. Yeah, I do use an E-tank here because I didn't want to die. When I play Mega Man games and record them, I try to get through a stage in one life. Ideally without having to use any energy tanks, but you know, sometimes I just have to, especially in hard mode of Mega Man 10. It's real difficult. And an advantage has over powered up, because powered up I don't think I have any heat tanks at all. Anyway, Blade Man. He clings to walls, throws blades, and occasionally will jump down and charge at you, like he does right now. That charge down at you is a hard mode exclusive move. He does not do that in normal mode and easy mode, I don't think. And in normal mode and easy mode, he throws less blades. He throws 5 blades in hard mode, 3 in normal mode, and 2 in easy mode. They're very, very difficult to dodge in hard mode because there's just so many blades that you gotta be real, real close to him in order for those blades not to hit you. It's pretty annoying. But a reward is the best weapon in the game. Triple Blade. Triple Blade is the... It's just really powerful. It's the equivalent of Metal Blade in this game. If you hit enemies in the close range, you hit them 3 times. Cutscene. Whoa. That doesn't look good. Also, completely expected, but, you know, not good regardless. Anyway, the triple blades, if you hit enemies close up with the triple blades, you actually hit them 3 times. As you will see with Strike Man, it's extremely powerful. It's a really good weapon. Triple blade is really good. I mentioned before, Strike Man is my favorite robot master in this game. He has the coolest, most unique stage. He has also a really good theme. Not as good as Nitro Man's theme, but it's really good. I like this theme a lot. And I like the stage gimmick, that they really stick to the sports stadium. I don't know what sport they play here. Probably all the sports, because it's a futuristic sports stadium. But still, it's a good gimmick, good stage, good robot fight. Probably my favorite stage. And honestly, Strike Man is a robot you can fight without his weakness. He's not that bad. Strike Man stage also features 2 mini-bosses. They're the same mini-boss, just one is more advanced than the other one. They're goalie keepers. I don't know what they really are. Just, you know, rain down on them with triple blade. They have a few different attacks. I showed off a few of the attacks right there. He either smashes 1 fist down, smashes 2 fists down, you know. I've showed you what to do in both cases. And the next version of him is going to be a little bit more difficult because he's actually going to be lobbing a soccer ball around the entire time. So then you got to be not only aware of the fists, but also of where the soccer ball is. He also has the electrified fencing, so you have to be careful of that too. Not bad. It's a really creative stage. Mega Man games don't often commit to just one specific gimmick. Like, I'm thinking of Clown Man stage that commits to toys and, you know, fun theme parks and stuff. But you don't really see Mega Man stages commit to just one specific thing. It's pretty rare to see that. So the fact that Strike Man stage commits so heavily to sports for its entire stage is pretty cool. And it makes for some unique assets that you don't see in most Mega Man games. Skull Man stage does that too, in Mega Man 4, by committing so heavily to skulls and fossils and stuff. You don't see it that often with most Mega Man stages. I mean, sure, you know, Iceman stage is an ice stage, and water stages are water stages, but, you know, they usually don't go much further than that. Like, you know, Dive Man stage. Dive Man stage. It's a pretty good stage. But it only commits to water. It doesn't really do that much more with it. It has a few, you know, militarized vehicles and stuff in there, but there isn't that much more to it than that. Be careful of the second goalie, because its hand movements are a lot more difficult to decipher than the first. Again, there's also a soccer ball that's being lobbed around the entire time, so you gotta be careful with that. These enemies, if you have the Proto Shield, are pretty easy to dispose of. Just, you know, use your shield and deflect those shots right back at them. Watch them drop all those sweet rewards. Hopefully some health, especially in hard mode. Ooh, hey, there's some health. Nice. Overall, there's not that much more to say. I really, really, really enjoy this game. And I think before Mega Man 11 was announced, this was actually a pretty decent way to cap off the series. I know a lot of people don't like Mega Man 10 compared to 9. I don't get that. at all. I get that Mega Man 9 is more straightforward and more reminiscent of the older Mega Man games, but I like that this one isn't that. This one's just its own thing. It takes some elements from a Mega Man game I really like, Mega Man Powered Up, and just provides a more robust experience than Mega Man 9 did. This just feels like a more complete experience than Mega Man 9. It's my opinion. And yeah, you know, shitty weapons aside, that's really the only complaint I have about this game. And yeah, that's a pretty fundamental complaint, but it's not a deal breaker for me. The weapons aren't so shitty and so unusable that you can't play the game like a Mega Man game, you know? You can still play this game like a Mega Man game. You still use your weapons. You just gotta be smarter about it. You gotta be more willing to lean into the cause and effect bullshit that they sometimes have you do. Not with Strike Man, though. Strike Man's pretty easy. Just get up close to the triple blades and just wail in on him. He has a few attacks. He has a special attack he only uses in hard mode. I think I show it off here. I think I'm going to show off a little bit, but he has a special attack that throws 4 rebound striking balls across the stage. You can destroy those with your triple blades or your regular pellet shots. I'm pretty sure you can destroy them with your triple blades and regular pellet shots. Just lay into him. Strike Man's not that difficult. He's pretty fun. It's pretty fun having to time your jumps and jumping over his rebound strikes. I get rid of him real quick, but overall. Cutscene. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed. I guess you're not going to see Strike Man's special hard mode attack. You'll probably see it next time during the Robot Master rematches. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all for the finale of Mega Man 10. Bye-bye!